welcome to the Demon's Den, a horror podcast where we will dive headfirst into the dark, twisted, and macabre. Macabre. Yeah, I'm your host, Hex, and I'll be your guide on this journey into the mostly unknown. In this podcast, we'll be exploring everything from cryptid sightings and haunted locations to the latest and classic horror movies, games, anime, what have you, as well as horror movies and releases. Well, horror news and releases. But mainly, we'll be delving into the myths, legends, and folklore that have been passed down through generations, and we'll examine real-life stories of people who have experienced the unexplainable. But a little warning, this podcast is not for the faint of heart. We'll be discussing topics that many find disturbing or unsettling, and sometimes controversial. So if you're easily frightened or squeamish, this may not be the best podcast for you. But if you are a horror fan, a lover of the dark and twisted, or simply someone who enjoys some scary shit, then you're in the right place. So I guess all I can say is sit back, relax, and get ready to explore the darkest corners of the human experience in the Demon's Den. In this episode, we'll be exploring a phenomenon that has plagued people for centuries: sleep paralysis. For those who aren't familiar with sleep paralysis, it's a condition where a person wakes up and they're unable to move or speak, often accompanied by some terrifying hallucinations. Now, this experience has been described throughout history and cultures, with many believing it to be caused by demons or other supernatural forces. But is there a scientific explanation for this phenomenon? Or is it truly the work of malevolent entities? That's what we'll be diving into. The facts, the myths, and one first-hand experience. So buckle up and get ready for a journey into the unknown as we explore the eerie and unsettling world of sleep paralysis. So, I'm guessing at least half of y'all have gone through it. That feeling of not being able to move, but you're awake. It's hard to breathe. You can see everything that's going on, but you're seeing all kinds of weird stuff. Dark shapes, shadows morphing into themselves and shape-shifting. And as if it wasn't freaky enough, some report, including me, a full-on demon on their chest, choking the life out of them. Now, of course, these people are still alive, as am I, but why in the hell did we just see what we just saw? So, sleep paralysis has been recognized as a phenomenon for centuries, with accounts of experiences dating all the way back to ancient Greece and Rome. In fact, there was a Greek physician by the name of Galen who wrote about sleep paralysis way back in the day, 2nd century AD. Throughout history, sleep paralysis has been attributed to various supernatural and spiritual causes. In many cultures, it was believed to be the work of malevolent spirits or demons, and treatments often involved religious rituals or exorcisms. Because, let's be totally honest, way back then, you go through sleep paralysis, you wake up, you go and tell your elders, hey, Satan was just sitting on my stomach and trying to kill me. Yeah, they're gonna put you through some stuff. However, though, it wasn't until the development of modern medicine that sleep paralysis began to be understood as something more scientific. In the early 20th century, researchers began to investigate the phenomenon using, I can never say this word, electroencephalophagy. Hold on. Google, help me out real quick.
Electroencephalography.
Electroencephalography. That's what it is. Or EEG. And other diagnostic tools. Now, from a scientific perspective, sleep paralysis is thought to be caused by a disruption in the normal sleep cycle. Now, normally during sleep, the brain goes through several different stages, including rapid eye movement, so REM sleep, and non-rapid eye movement sleep, or NREM sleep. Now, during REM sleep, rapid eye movement, the brain is active and dreams occur. However, the body is essentially paralyzed during this stage to prevent physical movement that could lead to injury. Because, think about it, we dream about some pretty crazy stuff. If our body was moving the way that, Dream Us was moving, we would wake up, like, on top of our car, in the bushes, just, like laid out. So, in people who experience sleep paralysis, the paralysis continues when they've woken up, leaving them temporarily unable to move or speak. Now, researchers believe that the sleep paralysis occurs when the brain wakes up before the body has fully exited REM sleep. So, I guess, like a waking dream. But, how does this explain why people, including yours truly, feel and see this demonic monster trying to end you? And I will let you know in 1 sec. After this herbal break, should we say. Yeah. So, I actually know a few people that have gone through sleep paralysis. They've all said pretty much the same thing. Hard to breathe, can't move, and some kind of scary thing is either watching them or pushing down on their chest. Now, I haven't actually hung out with any of my friends since Rona came to town, so the experience I'm about to talk about happened to me about 12 years ago. Back when I lived with my parents, I experienced my first bout with sleep paralysis, and it sucked. So, little backstory. I had just found out about lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming is where you can control your dreams, and damn if I didn't want to be Goku flying around blowing stuff up. So I read this infographic that I found on Facebook, the news channel for all Karens, and it gave me a step-by-step for how to induce lucid dreaming. It said you already had to be tired, and when you're trying to fall asleep, you have to keep repeating a phrase in your head. This one said, "I am falling asleep, I am about to dream." Just keep repeating that in your head. Alright, sounds easy. So after a long night of Halo Reach, I was ready to start flying around Namek. So, turn off the lights, lie back, close my eyes, and I start repeating to myself in my head, I am dreaming, I'm about to dream, I'm asleep, everything it was telling me to say. So, I wasn't sure what to expect or feel. The infographic said I might feel lightheaded, so I assumed I was going to be going through some kind of a trip. After what felt like 10 minutes, something weird happened. I couldn't move. My breathing was alright, but I felt like my body was tied down. Then I started to hear this, TV static noise. Then, okay, so then from the foot of my bed came this, pillar-looking shadow. It looked like a shadowy support beam, to be honest. And then I felt this rush, like I felt something take my breath away. I took a breath, and then I couldn't breathe. This support beam shadow thing was now on my chest, and these these protrusions, these tentacle things started to stretch out of it. It looked like a goddamn Venom symbiote stick. And these tentacles were holding my arms and legs down, and it looked at me like it didn't look at me because it didn't have a face. It just kind of bent its upper half down and stuck it in my face. And it didn't have any eyes. It was just this super black darkness You know, like that Vanta paint that's like the world's blackest black? Yeah, it was like that. And I was freaking out. I couldn't breathe, and this thing that looked like Satan's walking stick is trying to kill me. I, I didn't know what to do. I closed my eyes, and I just tried to move, but it was like trying to move through, like, thick, muddy cement or something. Like I was in slow-mo, but, like, the brain was in fast-forward. Out of nowhere, I heard that rush of air sound again, like that rush. And then I was out of whatever was happening. I sat up fast, I turned on my light, I grabbed my phone, and literally, like, I think 15 minutes had passed. Now, I can see why people thought that this was some supernatural, demonic kind of stuff. I straight up felt like demons were trying to jump into, like, our dimension or down my throat. So, the science says that when you experience these hallucinations, it's basically because your mind is still feeling like it's in dream mode, or you just go into dream mode and the body isn't down with the program yet. So, since you can't move naturally when you feel scared, you know, the whole fight or flight thing, that high emotion hightails it into your dreams. And then that fear takes on form. So you can see yourself making your own fear. It's pretty nuts. Researchers who have researched it say it's harmless, but I mean, sure, physically it's harmless, but that happened to me back in high school, and I'm still freaking out about it. Like, it's traumatizing. Thank you everyone for tuning in to the first episode of The Demon's Den. If you have an idea for an episode, questions, comments, or you just want to say hey, you can comment down below. Join me next time where we will be discussing my hometown of El Paso and why El Paso del Diablo is a more fitting name. So, everyone, stay safe out there, lock your doors, and remember, skinwalkers hate the sound of polka music.